Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, indeed.
Start the clock. Like you, or you call a timeout late in the game. Like
I gotta head to the restroom real quick. I'll meet y'all and I'll just come back real quick. Hold on 1 second. No, I'm playing.
You gotta take a hot dookie.
Bro, dookie.
You can probably get away with one to be right back before the end
that
of the
word.
video.
That word
man,
is just disgusting, bro. Like when you hear the word, it's just
dookie. That's nasty.
There's no way it could be anything else but that. You know.
Exactly.
Yeah, you need dew wipes for a dookie, bro. Like regular toilet paper ain't gonna work.
Man, it's like facts. You need them Kirkland flushable wipes.
We started on this shit, bro.
Speaking of Anthony Brown, I'm
man, oh my god.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to get one of these, man. Hey, don't forget to clock in, light the thumbs, like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification. Here we go.
Great Pharaoh. The gift of Troy is a fabulous fabric from the land of the 5 rivers.
Years ago, when we came to Los Angeles, I really believed that the greatness of the Raiders would be in its future.
And that's just do one thing and one thing only, win. And I want winners. Winners never stop working. Kick in the front door and let's get this bad boy rolling.
This is one of them hits now. Heard back from Earth, they just shot a few of my ships down. It's safe to say I'm totally pissed. Wow, my cloaking devices just malfunction. Guess it's time for a sit down. This is is the problem I got with humans, mostly the common man. Constantly fucking with energy they don't understand. Always thinking they got the upper hand. The G-forces from my maneuvers can snap your spine like a rubber band. I shouldn't waste my time, they ain't half as nice. Put a Red Bull in your coffin so your ghost can have wings in the afterlife. Let's rock and roll like a belly dancer's rhinestone. It was my idea to shake the pineal gland like a pine cone. My thoughts create hurricanes, tornadoes, and cyclones. A punch for me is like an avalanche of granite and limestone. You live here, now this is my home. I neuralize both your retinas, you wake up staring at the screen of your iPhone. Confused by the light plus the high tone. And now we connected from the microchip I placed next to your thigh bone. It's hard to understand cause you're mind blown, but I gotta cut communication. Your government just scramble they spy drones.
Cowboys speaking Sumerian, the oldest language in human history. I can't explain it.
We back for another edition of the Around the Shield with my guy Big Mike Raider, the Severe Raider, and I'm myself, Fair NFL man. Make sure to clock in, like the thumbs, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, all that good stuff. We appreciate everybody coming through for another episode, man. I got to start counting these episodes, man, because it's starting to get classic right now. It's been classic episodes, but we gotta start counting these episodes. But what's going on, Severe? How you been, Mike? What's going on with you?
Man, I'm good, bro. I'm good. I'm getting more pissed off as the season gets closer, man. Everybody needs to hold that hate this year, man. It's one of them years we got to hold that hate and feel the anger for the Raiders, man, because it's some wild stuff going on, man. Too much talk, and the Pads are about to be talking real soon.
Facts, 100%, man. Severe, what's on your mind, man?
No, facts. Agree with Mike, man. I'm out here keeping receipts like Thayer Munford, man. You know, keeping receipts, keeping the list, checking it twice, and
facts.
we're gonna see. Like you said, man, week one. I think if we come out there and we do what I think we're gonna do, we're gonna put the entire league on notice.
Hey, man, that's what I'm hoping, man. That's what I'm hoping. And I think Thayer Munford, by the way, I don't want to, bring in some bad news, but I think was he hurt yesterday in practice? I believe he got hurt. He didn't finish practice. Yeah, he's kind of getting banged up a little bit. Hopefully he gets healthy at the right time, which is, game 1 against the Chargers. So, man. So hopefully he gets healthy. But look, man, we got a lot to talk about today, man. We got obviously it's been a week of practice. The Raiders had actually a cool little practice, a public practice to Raider Nation after being shut out in Costa Mesa. I mean, we all understand people were able to get in, season ticket holders and all that good stuff, but it wasn't really open to the public, meaning the entire Raider Nation, man. Not everybody has season tickets. Not everybody could go to Costa Mesa and get in. But the Raiders kind of seen that. They took advantage of that, and I think they did a cool thing yesterday. And I think on the 20th, I believe they're doing the same thing, a public practice. And I didn't even think that it was going to be as intense as it was from what I was hearing. Like it was actually a real practice. What are your thoughts on what's been going on with the Raiders lately, especially this week, and what you've been hearing from practice, Severe?
Yeah, man. I mean, as you spoke about, the Raiders had their training camp in Costa Mesa. The Chargers and the Rams both essentially just hated on the Raiders. Didn't allow the fans to attend. Didn't even really allow. I think local media couldn't attend either. So they were basically shut out there. So now kind of as a fan appreciation type deal, Mark Davis opened these practices up to the public. We had one on the 14th and another one on the 20th. And from what I hear, it was. I'm hearing different things. Some people say, hey, it was good practice and yada yada. But then I'm hearing other people saying, like, it wasn't as intense as it has been. Kind of the defense might have been kind of pulling their punches in the name of entertainment for the crowd. So they weren't going quite as hard as they've been in the past, as evidenced by, I think it was pretty much universally being said by the beat writers and people that cover the team that the offense had their best day of all the practices they've seen. The offense had their best day today, or that particular day. So I don't think that's coincidental, So But I'm glad that that the fans were in attendance. It was a good turnout, and I think they should do more stuff like this in the future, especially in that Vegas market, to kind of continue to build the fan base out there.
Yeah, no facts, and I think that's probably one of the number one reasons why they did it was because they need to grow the Vegas market and they need to grow that fan base there because they can't. Not all the fans can come and get to Vegas every time, but they got to grow that market. But the best way to grow that market in Vegas, simple, just win. Just win. Mike, man, what's going on, man? I haven't heard from you. I actually want to hear your thoughts. I know we're going to get into a lot of different topics, but what did you think of the last preseason game? I know going into it, we were excited about the game, but what did you think from what you've seen? Because me and Severe had a conversation recently on 50/50 show. Make sure to check that out. But Mike, like, what were your thoughts on the game and what you like, what you didn't like?
I like what the starting offense did. I was pleasantly surprised, especially with Aiden O'Connell. A lot of people are talking about what Gardner Minshew did, and not really talking much about what Aiden O'Connell did. Aiden O'Connell, first team, ones versus ones, marched down the field on the first drive, and he did his thing. And yeah, he didn't score on there, but that wasn't on him, right? He kind of got deflated by that sack that Andres Pete gave up in the goal line. One play that really sticks out to me is when Aiden O'Connell was in the pocket. He felt some pressure, but he stepped up and threw a shot to Jacoby Myers for like 24 yards or something like that. It showed a little bit, some small glimpses of him kind of progressing and being a little bit more mobile. Now, when I say mobile, I'm not saying he's going to start taking off, but manipulating the pocket, being more in that phone booth and using every small square inch of that small square and using every single angle of it and stepping up and throwing a shot, and he looked poised. I think that one drive alone gave him the one up. I really didn't care what Gardner Minshew did in the second quarter. Because it's kind of against, I wouldn't say it's twos, there's partial ones in there, partial twos. Like Gardner Minshew did what we all expected him to do. But what I saw from Aiden O'Connell was the fact that he was poised. He didn't look rattled, right? And he wasn't a statue. Those are the things that we've been saying about him throughout this offseason. Oh man, this dude is a statue. He doesn't move, but he showed right there, that one play right there, that he has the ability to do so. And that right there showed me that he's ready to be the starter for this team.
Man, I agree with you, man. I like what you said because you got to have you have to have the right expectations for Aiden O'Connell. If you're going in there trying to look for Michael Vick, you're going to be disappointed. But I like what you said there. He's able to play within himself, and that's where he can manipulate the pocket, move around the pocket, and that's what we've seen. And he was able to be accurate, march the team down the field. So it sounds like you like Aiden O'Connell's performance over Gardner Minshew's, or do you think it was pretty even?
I think that Aiden O'Connell looked a little bit better. And I'll say this: he was a lot more efficient. 7 for 9. Accuracy was there. Gardner Minshew, on the other hand, only had 6 completions with 12 balls thrown. That right there tells me that Aiden O'Connell is going to be a little bit more efficient when he's out on the field. Now, Gardner Minshew, he has a tendency of being careless with the ball. And this is him in his career, throwing interceptions, trying to do too much sometimes, and really hurting an offense. And the way it's constructed, the way this team is constructed, we can't afford to have that. We can't tire out this defense. We can't put them in situations where they're on short fields and they have to defend a short amount of space. And, even the best of defenses can't work against that. So I want a guy that's going to be efficient, accurate, and not making so many turnovers. And I think that Aiden O'Connell is that guy over Gardner Minshew.
And another thing that we haven't really talked about too much is Aiden O'Connell is getting support for one of the biggest supporters that you can get on the team. Arguably the best player, the biggest star, the biggest name on the team, and that's Devante Adams.
Yeah.
So I think that says a lot, because he sees what happens in practice, day in, day out. I'm sure he's seen Gardner Minshew from afar, has played with them at this point, OTAs up until this point. We've seen what he said with Shannon Sharp over there at his podcast. So that you could take that and be like, okay, you got one of the biggest supporters on the team is the number one receiver, and you could tell. And look, I think it was yesterday practice. It was a great play. I think it was 11 on 11, and I believe AOC was able to hit Devante Adams on a deep throw touchdown, or at least close to it. There was like video clips of it, and maybe I can pull it up. But that being said, I think the one thing I'll say with Gardner Minshew, just to give it on, just to keep the conversation balanced, he was able to get touchdowns.
It's true.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna lie, touchdowns over the years, whatever quarterback was back there, from the Derek Carrs, the whoever you put over there, have been a struggle for a while now. So I think that red zone is going to be key, and hopefully whoever steps up this week will separate themselves, and we'll finally have a quarterback, and we won't have this conversation again unless whatever happens during the season. But I think after this game.
One more thing that I got to mention, it bears to be repeated, man. The more that Thayer Munford, you mentioned earlier, Thayer Munford went down with an injury. This is the second time he's went down with an injury with his hand. The more that Thayer Munford goes down with small little injuries, dings here and there, you're opening the door even more for DJ Glaze to keep on getting them reps, keep on building the blocks, brick by brick, becoming that number one guy. I wouldn't be surprised, and I'm not saying week one, but if it keeps going this way, DJ Glaze is going to be the starting right tackle.
Yeah, and we
That'd
heard
be ironic.
Yeah,
That'd be
it's
ironic
severe
because Jackson Powers Johnson is not going to start. So it'd be ironic if the guy we were sure would be a starter, and due to injury, he's not going to start. And it'd be ironic that if an injury to another potential starter gave DJ Glaze the opportunity to steal a starting spot. So that would be very interesting.
And that's the crazy thing too is, Severe, is that Pierce literally has been his biggest supporter in the media. Every time DJ Glaze comes up, he's like, man, he's looked good in practice. They even liked him in the game. When he made a mistake, he made a mistake. A guy beat him inside, but we like what he's doing over there. It's they're really surprised, not even surprised, intrigued with his potential over there at the right side. So, Mike, you make a good point about Thayer Munford. But do you think, Severe, you think that DJ Glaze, and we brought this up last show, we're like, hey, man, there might be a battle going there, but he did give up a sack, and I was like, you know what? He didn't have the perfect performance for him to put himself in.
I was on the left though. I want to say that was him at left tackle. That was him on left tackle. At left tackle. On the right side, on the right side, I think he performed very well.
Okay.
I was impressed with what he did on that side, and that would be the side that he'd be likely starting on. So yeah, man, I think the best ability is availability, man, and if Thayer keeps going down with these little nicks and bruises. I also think that DJ Glaze is a little bit of a better fit in this system than Thayer. I already talk about, I called him cement-footed Thayer Munford all the time. He's not a guy that's really, going to move as well as DJ Glaze. Now, he is moving better than he was, especially better than he was at Ohio State. But I don't think he moves as well as Glaze. Glaze is already younger. So, I think that he's really, really leaving the door open for DJ Glaze to step right through it and grab a hold of that starting spot at right tackle.
Yeah, and you know what? This is not a bad thing, but it also doesn't help. It might not even help Thayer Munford's case to start, because one of Thayer Munford's probably best attributes is his versatility. It's the fact that he can play the right side, if not play better on the left side.
Yeah.
And what does that sound like? Swing tackle. He might be
Yeah.
perfect for that swing tackle role compared to, a DJ Glaze. Well, we'll see. You know what I mean? We'll see. Let the best man win. But it's definitely something interesting to keep an eye on. Me and Severe talked about, like, I think the linebackers played well during the game.
Yeah.
I felt like the linebacker depth showed up well, which is it's not a surprise. The head coach is a linebacker coach. You got linebackers all through the staff, former linebackers on the staff. So it's not a surprise that that position is playing well. Starting secondary, look good. The depth, I'm not sure. What do y'all think? And let's talk about what's going on right now. Do you think? And I believe the Giants released a corner, a former starting
Jalen
corner.
Mills.
How do y'all feel about that fit with the Raiders? Do you guys right now at this point, you think it's a good idea to bring a veteran to this secondary at corner?
I mean,
go for it, bro.
It couldn't hurt. It couldn't hurt. But I personally, I liked MJ Devonshire when we drafted him. I know he had a rough go of it on Saturday. He kind of got out of his technique, and then he got beat deep for a long pass. Well, I think it was a touchdown, and then DCam was kind of up or down in his performance as well. But DeCamerion has been performing well in practice. Jacorian's been performing well in practice, and I've heard some good things about MJ Devonshire as well. I know a lot of people are fans of Will Governor, so we got some young guys here. So at this point, I would rather just let these young guys cook, man. Let these young guys continue to develop. If it comes a point in time where we need another guy, then we can go there. I mean, but I don't know. Brandon Faison is on a milk carton somewhere. I don't know what dude is. I know what dude is doing. He's somewhere playing. He's somewhere playing. Playing NCAA somewhere. But he's still he's still on the roster. So I mean, that's technically a veteran already. We have so. I mean, I can see the value in bringing in another guy, but I would rather let these young guys develop.
I just think they're just another off season away. Like, respect to them and they talent and their potential. Maybe a guy like DeCamerion Richardson, he needs to add more weight. He probably needs another off season of just just getting bigger, getting stronger. As well as Devonshire. Not to say that they won't make an impact on his team. Maybe it's not right now. It's different when you're in practice, and due to NFL rules, you can't be as physical as you can be. But once you get put on the pads and probably get on the football field, you got to get off them blocks. You got to be aware of what's going on. We understand like how hard it could be for a rookie at any position, let alone a corner. In a division where the best quarterback in the league is. You know what I'm saying? So they're gonna. And I'm not saying that they're gonna start, but there's gonna be moments in time where they're gonna come into the game, due to injury or due to personnel. Like, there might be a game where there are 4 or 5 receivers out. You got to put your best 4 out there, right? So I just think maybe it might make sense to get a veteran in there, man. Whether it's Jalen Mills, another guy that keeps coming up just because of the Patrick Graham connection, is Adoree Jackson. I mean, Mike, how do you feel about this? I mean, do you think we should add a veteran corner?
I would add a veteran corner at the end of training camp. Let all the evaluation finish and see where you're at after the 3rd preseason game. Now I would do it for depth. I wouldn't do it for them to start across from Jack Jones. Right. I think that Jacorian Bennett is the guy who's going to be there, and he looked good. Jacorian Bennett looked good. Outside of that, the rest of these corners, I thought that MJ Devonshire showed that he needs a lot more development. I think he's going to benefit from being kind of a reserve guy, maybe even a practice squad guy. And DeCamerion Richardson, you're right. I think he needs a little bit more weight. I think he needs a little bit more polishing. And there's nothing wrong with that. He's a rookie. That's what you expect, right? But with that, saying that, where's Faison? Where's where's our fourth corner? Who's going to step up to be the third and fourth corner? The cornerback too, to kind of back up just in case one of these two guys go down. So, I would definitely look into bringing in if things don't move forward or things don't improve, and maybe even without that, you still look at bringing in another guy. We definitely need somebody that's going to be in there that is a pro, and he's basically a plug and play just in case things don't go right.
And it's not even to say that some of those guys that we mentioned, that the young guys, that they can't contribute. They might contribute maybe later in the year, where they've kind of seen some things, experienced some things, and then you know what, the coaches kind of gain a level of trust, and they put them in the game. You know how it is. They'll call them from practice squad, or they'll activate them for a game. We know how that story goes for some players, but it's just part of their developmental process. But we'll see how that shakes out. Faison, I believe, was hurt. He did not play during last week's preseason game. I'm not sure if he's going to be available this week, but we'll see. I believe the starters will play again. The way AP's talking about starters, if they're healthy, they playing. So, and we'll get into that conversation in a little bit. But let's just move it along, man. Let's talk about the Raiders versus Cowboys. Mike, man, going into this game, what would you say is the number one thing that you're looking for right now? After seeing that first preseason game, what would be the number one thing that you're looking for to see from this team? What do you want to? What answers are you looking for in the second preseason?
I need to see action from depth, because we know that our ones can probably get the job done, especially on defense. They can get it done. Offense, they look good enough, right? They look like they can hold it down. But what happens if one of these guys go down, one of our key guys go down? Can they continue that kind of production? And what I saw from the backups in the second half against the Vikings, it was tough to watch. There were some glimpses that the defense, Snowden, the defensive end from the defensive end that was backup against the Vikings. I think he wears number 49 or something like that. He played well. I thought he played better than Tyree Wilson. So
yes,
yeah, and that's a whole different story. But right, and it's I need to see more people step up. I was disappointed with Devonshire. We said that already. DeCameron Richardson, I wanted to see a little bit more. We need to see more from the depth, because we know we're getting from the ones. The ones seem to be leading the way with this whole thing. But the way a season gets derailed is when your top guys go down. And if you're going to keep, that ship going, you got to have somebody that can come in that would allow you to not have too much of a drop off.
Right.
So I need to see depth. I need to see a full game played. Second half, I need to see those guys that are fighting for spots. I want to see more from Dylan Lobby. Now, I know a lot of it wasn't his fault. Like he was getting the ball in bad, third long situations, and feature him a little bit more. Take him out of the backfield, have him catch balls out of the backfield, things like that. That's what I want to see. I want to see a full team effort in this game, and I'll be a lot more comfortable just in case somebody goes down.
No, facts. I want to see Dylan Lobby a little bit earlier in the game. I want to see him play with the weapons that we have, because that's where he's going to look even. That's where you're going to see his skill set even shine, because now you got guys at wide out, you got guys at tight end, and then you got an O-line that could block better than what they did in the second half. And maybe some of that had to do with the quarterback play as well. Like Anthony Brown, his days are numbered. They instantly picked up Nathan Peterman the other day. Like the return of Peterman. But Severe, man, what were your thoughts, man? What's your thoughts going into the Cowboys game? What are you looking for? What are answers that you're looking for from this team going into the Cowboys game?
I mean, the number one question still remains: who is the quarterback of this team? I mean, I think that kind of goes without saying.
Right.
We spoke about it on the 50-50 show, and Mike just spoke about it right now. I'm expecting Minshew to get to start this game, just to give each of them a chance with the ones. Aiden O'Connell was very efficient in his performance. until he got to the red zone. And then, I think the the sack by Andres Pete, it was a bad sack. It was 80% Andres Pete's fault, but 20% was Aiden O'Connell staying on the read too long. Then also Aiden kind of drifting back in his pocket. If Andres Pete's landmark is like 7 yards, why is Aiden O'Connell at like 9 and 10 yards? Right, the tackle can't. Like he's going to run. He's supposed to run the guy around the arc. If you're at 9 yards, you're going to run the guy right into your quarterback. So some of that was Aiden's fault. Minshew, we saw a little bit of the roller coaster ride we there is with Minshew. He threw some wild ones, but he also, he only completed 50% of his passes, but he was 6 for 12 for, what was it, 117 yards. So on those 6 passes, he had 41 more yards than Aiden O'Connell had on his 7 completed passes. So that's some of what he brings to the table. And early on in the process, now it's probably changing now, but early on in the process, AP was adamant about having the offense that pushes the ball downfield. And that's when we were talking about early in the process. Like while we speculated, hey, Jaden Daniels, one of the best downfield passers in all of college football. Michael Penix, one of the best downfield passers in all of college football. These are 2 guys you identified because of their ability to push the ball downfield. That is something that Gardner Minshew, displayed game 1 in a way that Aiden O'Connell didn't necessarily display. So just looking to see if he continues that, if he can be more efficient, and if Aiden O'Connell can build on that performance that he had last week as well, and if he can continue to show that mobility in the pocket, and some of that pocket awareness that is much improved from last year. So I think this is essentially going to be the last chance for each of them to really put on their best performance when it comes to that evaluation of that position, because I know AP wants to have that starter name before week 3, and whoever the starter is probably unlikely to play. So they got one shot. And it would be interesting to see how these guys perform under that kind of pressure.
Yeah, man. We'll see. But I think, like you said, that's a given. The quarterback plays. I think everybody's going to be looking at that. They're going to see, because that's like the biggest thing. I mean, the quarterback position is the most important position in football. Yeah. So, and that's a position that we don't even know who's going to start there as of right now. Yeah. And hopefully after next game, it sounds like Pierce might make up his mind. From some reports, they're saying like the Raiders are probably going to announce the starter after this game. It's possible. We'll see. We'll see, man. I like what I've seen from AOC. I think AOC, when it's all said and done, is going to be the starter. I've been saying it.
I agree with that. I agree with that point.
Oh,
kind of as much. No. I think Gardner Minshew. I think Gardner Minshew performed better, but I think that in this situation, as Mike kind of said, I said it on the show on Monday. Like, if this is a situation where you want the guy that can do no harm, I think people feel that Aiden O'Connell has more potential maybe to develop later on, but this very moment, Gardner Minshew has more potential to put up more points with this offense, but he also has more potential to put you in bad situations. And I think that, that's going to outweigh, like, Aiden O'Connell he's going to get you that C every time. Gardner can come out and get you a B plus, A minus, but he can get you an F too. And so I think, when you're a defensive coach, you want that consistency. This guy is going to take care of the ball. He's not going to put us in bad situations. He's going to, even though he should have, did better in our red zone play, as I talked about before, but he's not going to really put you in bad situations. Not going to turn the ball over. Like, you live to play another day. And sometimes Gardner Minshew kind of lives on the edge. That's kind of his personality. And like, if this was Bruce Arians, Gardner Minshew the starter for sure. No, without a question. Like, ain't no kind of getting cut next week, possibly, right? But this is Antonio Pierce, and so that's a whole different mindset, whole different mentality. So I think that that lends itself to a guy that's a little bit more on the safer side.
Yeah. But it goes without saying that Bruce Arians would probably have a stronger arm quarterback. Out there, you know what I mean? Just because we know.
But if this is his only two options, if this is his only two options, Gardner Minshew is going to be the guy.
It's like fantasy football, man. You know how you in fantasy football, you look at boom or bust. You
Yeah.
know, like you'll pick a guy on a week to week basis. Like, all right, this week, I'm down a guy. I need to throw a guy in that I can find lightning in a bottle.
Yeah.
You're not going to start that dude week by week because he might score negative points for you, but he
Exactly.
might go out and hit 30, 40 points for you one of these games
Exactly.
and really like get you on a good run or, steal a game, stealing an upset. So that's Gardner Minshew in a nutshell. 1 or 2 games, he'll get you some good times, right?
Yeah.
But man, he'll have you looking for something else, in a quick second if you play him too much.
Right. And that's what I was trying to get at, on Monday's show is like when I watched him play, it's like, is this sustainable? Like his play style, is this sustainable? Like he plays a lot, he plays a little free. He likes to play out of structure a little bit. You could tell, like his game, he's more likely to roll out and try to make a play, buy more time. But then when you look at his skill set, it's like, man, like someone left a comment and it was funny. It was like, man, Minshew is a gunslinger without a gun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it is what it is. Hey, maybe with the Raiders, we have so much weapons, it can work. So if Minshew ends up being the starter, and just to move it along, because we all know the quarterback, we can go back and forth with the quarterback position, but I'm really excited from what we've seen last preseason game and what we've been hyping up the entire offseason is this offense and the weapons that we have, the 2 tight end system, 12 personnel. The Raiders are going to be one of 5 teams in the last, I don't know how many years, to probably go out into the NFL this year and have a base personnel in 12 personnel, I should say. And it makes sense. You know what I mean? Bowers looks the part. Mayer looks like he's trying to prove the entire world the Raiders made a mistake in drafting Bowers.
Yeah.
And that to me is probably one of the biggest things. I know it's preseason. I know it's vanilla. They're not going to show too much, but even in what they showed us, they're like,
yeah,
man, you got Bowers coming out at fullback. Oh,
yeah,
that's a matchup nightmare.
And I don't know if you guys remember what I said a few months ago. I said that Getsy has to almost revolutionize his offense for it to be dynamic. And seeing Brock Bowers coming out, everywhere. He was in the slot. He was the boundary receiver. He was the fullback.
Yep.
That is stuff that has signs of being revolutionary. Just imagine every play. You got to really pay attention where he's going, and really take into consideration of that. But you might not even go to him. He might just be a decoy. You know what I mean? Like it's those type of things that make an offense special and very difficult to stop. And it's the system alone. It's not the players. It's not the personnel. It doesn't matter who the quarterback is. It's the personnel. It's the scheme. So that's what I was looking for with Getsy. You got to revolutionize this 12 personnel, 13 personnel. I even joked and said 14. That was ridiculous, right? But 13.
That could happen though.
It could happen.
Yeah.
You could put 4 tight ends out there. You know what I mean? You have no receivers, but you can run the ball with 4 tight ends. You know what I mean? And just really punish some dudes. They would never do it, but you never know what Getsy. So it's that type of offense that you want to see from Getsy. Like, hey, we're gonna change the game on you, man. You're gonna have to try to stop us.
Yeah. But it's hard. It's really hard to really predict how it's gonna really look because we won't know until the regular season because that's when teams are game planning. Even week 1, for example, week 1 is probably the most unpredictable week in the NFL because no one really knows what the other team is going to do and how it's going to look like, especially a team that has new coaching staff, new OC, whatever the case may be. They don't know how it's going to look like. That's why we see all types of upsets happen in week 1. I mean, we see upsets every week, like any given Sunday. We all know that happens, but especially week 1. But yeah, I'm man, just to see it on the football field, just to see, Bowers come out the backfield, just to see Mayer just be involved. The tight ends were heavily involved in that first preseason game. So hopefully we see that continue. And Devante, we see him out there, and you combine Devante with the weapons that we have, it's just going to make it that much easier we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but hopefully we'll be able to see Devante out there, and if just for him to be out there, it's going to create so many matchups for the other guys. It's just going to make it even that much easier. Even without Devante, it makes it a little bit interesting. But with Devante, now you got a guy that commands that double team. You got to pay attention to Devante just because he has that reputation, as well as, hey, man, you can't leave Devante one-on-one unless, obviously if you have like a number one corner and like maybe a Patrick Surtain, they might take risk here and there. But for the most part, teams are going to have to pick their poison. So, man, I'm excited for this game. We'll get into the score prediction probably later in the show. But, man, as far as we talked about the quarterback battle, hopefully I want to see the defense just come out a little bit stronger. I understand it's vanilla and they're just going to be running the same defense, the same off. I understand, I get it, but I just want to see at least that D-line just come out there and just dominate the guy in front of them. Like, that's what I was kind of disappointed that I didn't see against the Vikings. Hopefully they can do that against the Cowboys. And if they're able to do that, then it makes it that much easier for the guys behind them to make some plays, especially our guy Jack Jones out there, man. He looked like he's about to have a big year this year, man. I'm excited about Jack Jones, man. And he feels disrespected. That's a perfect place to be as a player, man. You feel disrespected, and he's out there making plays. What he's doing in training camp is translating on the football field. We see him get that interception the other day. But that being said, let's move it along, man. Let's move along, man. We gonna move along to it's around the nation time, man. Y'all know we gonna hear from the people, and we want to know what people are talking about. Usually we go through the comments and we see, and we'll do that. We'll see how people react to the show as well. But there's a big topic, and we've been hinting at it during the show. Earlier in the week, Devante was asked, and I'm gonna go ahead and share this on the screen. And he was asked about preseason and his playing time and playing the game. And, he didn't seem like he was for it. And, Antonio Pierce had some comments about it. So I'm just say less, and I'm going to put this on the screen here. Let's see. Go ahead and share this. Hold on. I got the wrong stuff here. Hold on. Let me put here we go. Boom, got the right stuff. All right, here we go. To play or not play. Here we go. Let's go play the clip real quick.
Is this a chance that you would like to be out there on the field and play?
I mean, I'm sure we'll have some sort of conversation, but I don't think I played in a preseason game since 16. So, I mean, we practice the right way. We go about it and get on the same page with the quarterbacks. And obviously a little bit of, a few reps could help, but just based off of the risk, it's not on my mind. It's something that I'm looking forward to. I look forward to the games to, watch the guys go at it and watch the team get better and all the things that go in with that. But definitely not. If I'm choosing, I'm not playing.
One guy that we've been given the situation with the
so that's Devante Adams' response. Here's Antonio Pierce
on Saturday and maybe even this Saturday. Do you want to be out there? Is this a chance that you would like to?
You said starters will play this week. Devante last night said he'd choose not to if it was up to him. Will there be a conversation, or do you think that it's kind of his point in his career would be up to him?
No. If you're healthy, you'll play.
You said starters will play this week. Devante last night said he'd choose not to if it was up to him. Will there be a conversation?
You see the difference? You see the difference there? Yeah. Devante is real long-winded, explaining himself. And Antonio Pierce was like, like if you're healthy, you're playing. Like he wasn't going for it. But before we get into it, let's look into the comments and what people are saying around the nation here. So let's look here. We got it's a mindset. No one bigger than the Shield. Personally, I think we should trade him. We can get a first and second round draft picks for him. It's no good for us without a quarterback. Whoo, man, people are just they
should have did that already if he was gonna do it.
Man, people are coming for Devante. AP knows what he's doing. So a lot of people are supporting AP right now. AP knows what's best. Tell him, coach. He sounds like a diva. Man. No reason to play this man. You seen what we went through last year already. This man gets hurt. All you fans will be crying.
I mean, he ain't lying.
Like no,
He ain't lying. He ain't lying.
know what's know what's funny to me? I just can't help but laugh about it. It's because like this is the nature of fandom, bro. Like people cannot be consistent at all. Cause like have this thought experiment. Let's say this is Devante saying I don't want to play in the preseason, and then Josh McDaniels was like, nah, bro, if you're healthy, you playing. Like the reaction would not be the same.
McDummy doesn't know what he's doing.
Exactly. Why he's a star player? Why is he out there playing? He doesn't need to be like so. Like people kind of pick and choose based on how they feel about the messenger, how they react to the message.
Sounds
like
familiar.
This was Josh McDaniels. Oh, bro, it would not fly like this. They will be cooking. Josh McDaniels would go back to the locker room like, I just got cooked.
Right.
Like,
and you know, there's some people who had a little bit of, all right, let him play a couple of offensive series and that's it. He doesn't need to play the whole game. And that's where I'm at.
That's a lot.
Nobody's playing the whole game though.
Yeah. But I think and people were overreacting a little bit here. That is kind of obvious. Like they're overreacting. I think that he should probably play maybe a series. Maybe I don't think he should play a second series in my opinion. But maybe if they want to, they can go ahead and do so depending on how the first series goes. But I don't think Devante should play too much. You know what you got at him. Just let him get some reps. Let him get hit a couple of times. Get some reps in. But but as far as not playing, it really varies because certain coaching staffs, they have different mindsets about it. Like you don't want to put your best player at risk for a game that's meaningless. You know, they don't feel like it's really necessary for the guy to play. But Mike, where are you at with this, man?
This is to some of the people that were saying like, oh, he needs to be traded. He needs to go somewhere else. He's a diva, this and that. It's a blatant hypocrisy to me because, you know, we really crave that sort of like bluntness from our players, right? To tell it straight like it is. How many players feel like, hey, I don't want to play in the preseason? You know, how many star players think that way? Especially dudes who already got it established that they're the starter. Pretty much everybody. But we're knocking Devante Adams for saying exactly what a lot of 95% of these guys are already feeling and thinking. I think that he's a guy that he kind of tap danced on that comment, but at the end of the day, he kind of got to telling it like it is. Now, Antonio Pierce, he's not tap dancing. He's going straight to the punch. So I admire both of those things. These are two kind of like alphas, and I think they understand each other. And, you know, kind of a small wrinkle to it, right, is that, you know, we saw yesterday that, you know, Devante Adams didn't attend practice, you know? So who knows what happened behind the scenes? Like maybe, you know, Antonio Pierce was like, hey, you know, you're gonna nurse that ankle, all right, and don't worry about playing. Or, you know, Devante Adams made an executive decision and was like, yeah, I'm down with an ankle. I'm not gonna play this week. You know, based on what, you know, Antonio Pierce said, and you made a good point behind the scenes, Severe. Like he left that possibility out there. AP, if you're healthy, you're gonna play. If you're healthy, so you know that's the part. Go ahead, bro.
No, go finish your statement, man, because I got something to say about that. Go ahead.
Yeah, and that's the part that kind of leaves it wide open. It kind of leaves that possibility, like, all right, well, you know, if I say I'm down with an injury, even if it's a small kind of little ding or whatever, like, you know, it's not going to be a big deal. And the fact that he didn't show up to practice yesterday is okay. That kind of solidifies with you know that kind of thought a little bit. So I don't know, man. I don't know what you think about that, man.
No, I was just gonna say, man. Then if that's the case, if Devante's playing those types of games, then that's not good at all. That doesn't end well. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I think that's a respect thing too. Like if what are you trying to do? Because I understand what AP's trying to do.
Yeah.
AP just trying to set a tone. He's trying to send a message not to Devante but to the team. I don't think he's sending it directly to Devante. It's more like, nah, we're trying to keep up with a standard, and we don't want no one to think they're above that standard because that's a slippery slope. And I think that if Devante over here is just, oh, okay, well, I'm hurt, then what are you doing now? Now you're creating a little bit of friction, creating a little bit of something that's out of nothing. And hopefully it doesn't go that route. It's a great conversation to have because we see two guys go at it.
Can we be really real here? What's your guys' gut feeling about their relationship?
I think it's good. I think it's solid. I don't think it's bad.
Man, I think that I haven't seen anything that would outwardly say that they have a bad relationship. I think Devante, he advocated for him to get the job. So unless something happened between them, and I think Devante is a guy where he's going to get along as long as you respect Devante. He's going to get along with you. He said, a guy that was almost universally hated by the fans and Josh McDaniels. Devante had very nice things to say about him to this day. Even though he knows that's not a popular opinion. He says all the time, like, of all the coaches I've had, like, he gave me more, input or get more ability to have input and give me more respect than anywhere I've been before. So, like, he's not afraid to have an unpopular opinion. But to what Farrell was saying, I agree. I think it's a situation where they are, hey, you know what, this is the standard. We're holding everybody to that same standard. And I think there was a comment. I was just looking up right now. There's a comment by Devante said he ain't played preseason since 2016. I check. It's hard to find preseason stats, but from what I can find, look like he played in 2017, 2018, 2019. He didn't play or in 21 or 22. But according to NFL.com, he does have a game played last year in preseason as well. So I don't know. Look, I don't know if that's truth or not. Maybe he suited up, got out there for a series and didn't do anything. So he doesn't really recall it. But according to the website, he played all those years. All those years are between now and 2016.
And you know what? If I were to pick a side here, I would go with AP, just because.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
And I'm not saying it's AP versus Devante, but I'm looking at it from perspective of like, just a little bit. You know what I mean? Hey, shout out to Around the Shield. Just started the IG this week. Make sure to go over to IG, man, if y'all have one, and give it a follow, man. Y'all gonna see great content as well as clips from the show. If y'all can't watch some of y'all have like short attention span. Y'all like them clips. So y'all see plenty of that on our YouTube channel as well as on Around the Shield IG too as well. So make sure to check that out. But as far as AP, man, I just think if Devante is going at AP, man, I just think that's not going to end well for him. And at the end of the day, like, it's just going to go in a direction of people are going to ask questions. And it's going to create a whole. It's gonna make something out of nothing, and there's nothing. I don't think it's not as big as we're talking about it. It's just the conversation is there, and we're talking about it.
You know why I asked that question is because, like, seeing his like kind of his outbursts when things don't go right, for the last couple of seasons, him throwing helmets around and cussing people out on the sideline, like, man, it just feels like you got to handle him real delicately. And that doesn't feel right to me. You know what I mean?
I agree.
And that's where everybody's talk. I understand where it's coming from now. That everybody's talking about, he's going to get traded. Yeah, he wants to get traded. Because his action sometimes is like, bro, where you at right now? Where's your head at right now? But then he comes out and says, I want to be a Raider. Like, so it's hard to be like, well, shit, he said what he said. Like, it's hard to gauge. It's a real delicate situation to me.
Nah. But I agree, man. I agree. Look, I was saying this while he was doing this stuff during the season, and I think people kind of ignored it or they played it off just because they had a mutual disdain for Josh McDaniels and for Jimmy Garoppolo. So he can do all these histrionics and like I said, bro, you're supposed to be a team leader. Like this is not how you handle stuff as a leader. Like as a leader, if you guys problem what's going on, you conduct yourself, properly in public. Also, it's like, and I didn't want to like even take it to this level, but let's say if you and your wife have a disagreement, or you and your girlfriend have a disagreement, or you and your brother, you guys are out somewhere in public, you guys have a disagreement. Like you don't do that stuff in public. You like, all right, man, we got an issue. We're gonna talk about this when we get back to the house. Like this is how we handle it. You don't do all that stuff out in public, throwing stuff and throwing like that's not how mature people do things. So when I saw him doing all that stuff, it wasn't a good look in my opinion. And I kind of held my tongue on some of the things I wanted to say it was like, but it wasn't a good look. So but now I think that now that the head guy is a different guy, and I think that most of Raider Nation, they support Gardner Minshew, or they support Aiden O'Connell for the time being until we get to the season, and that stuff might change if they're not playing good.
Right.
But for right now, like hope springs eternal. So they're still, they still have favor with these particular individuals. So now you see a guy that may be a malcontent, it looks a little bit different because, it's not necessarily a problem with the regime now. Now you're looking at the individual player.
Yeah, and you know what it is, man? And just to go back to what you said, Mike, and I hand it off to you. Yeah. Devante has this thing that all these number one receivers have, just a little bit, you know what I mean? Some less than others, some more than others, and Devante has a little bit in him. Because Devante's he's well-spoken, he seems like a good guy. You could tell the guys in the locker room like him. You could tell, like, when he's out there talking to the media likes him. He has that image about him, but what he also has is a little bit of diva in Devante. He got a little bit of diva in him. And we've seen that a little bit. Yep, all the best ones do, for the most part. Tim Brown,
Larry Fitzgerald,
Tim Brown,
Marvin Harrison.
But they're quiet though, quiet guys. You know what I mean? So they might have had a little bit of diva, like give me the damn ball. I'm just not gonna say nothing out loud in front of
Andre
everybody.
Johnson is another one. Well,
Andre Johnson.
Andre Johnson's so quiet. We always forget about Andre Johnson.
That's true.
Exactly. But go ahead, Mike. Go ahead, Mike. You had something.
I'm not trying to make something out of what could possibly be nothing, but this situation reminds me of a couple that don't argue, but they have issues with each other. But they're both saying out loud, everything's fine. Everything's fine. Even in public, everything's fine. But there's some underlying issues. There's some serious, you know what I mean? And if things go wrong, I'm just afraid that those issues are going to finally surface. That's kind of what my concern is with the situation. Is Devante Adams truly a Raider for life? Like he said, he wants to be a Raider. Is he going to stick through this through thick or thin? I'm not 100% sure that he's that guy. I don't know. It could be absolutely nothing that's going on with this, right? But it just doesn't feel right in my gut, dude. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like it really, that's what it feels like to me. That there's something not right. Now winning will solve all issues, right? That's what it is. But what if there's some issues there, during the season? What if we get into a losing streak? What if he's not getting the ball enough because we're losing? You know what I mean? Like that's the problem that I'm kind of like, that's my gut feeling, that where something just doesn't feel right. Now I could be completely wrong, but that's just my gut feeling. That's the gut feeling, man. I'm gonna keep it real with you.
The gut feeling is the quarterback. That's what it is. It's because you see the instability with quarterback because there's a question mark there. Whether whoever they announce, the quarterback, whoever it is, Aiden O'Connell, Minshew, there's still going to be a question throughout the whole season unless Minshew or AOC go out there and they score like 35 touchdowns and have a great year. Offense is the biggest surprise this year, or whatever the case may be. But until we see that, it's going to be a question that quarterback position.
Welcome to the 50-50 Show.
Adams played with Aaron Rodgers, future Hall of Famer quarterback. He's been spoiled, and there's a possibility for him to team up with him one more time, or go to a situation, or go back to Green Bay and play with Jordan Love, or just play with any of these. Any quarterback situation is better than the Raiders.
bottom line, bro, is I just hope none of that is true because
Right.
I don't want none of these clowns that have been making all these reports for the last 1-2 years for them to be right, bro. That at the end of the day, that's just the last thing that I want to see, bro. Is these idiots that made all these reports that was probably like no credibility for them to actually be right. And they can just come back like, hey, we told you so. Like that is the part that I just don't want to happen, man.
Yeah. No, I hear you, man. I hear you. And hopefully, and look, this may be nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It could be, just Devante Adams just being honest, and AP just being honest, and then come game time, we'll see Devante Adams suit up and play a series, or maybe a couple snaps, and everything will be forgotten, and we won't be talking about this. And most likely, that's what's probably might just happen. But
yeah,
it is interesting though, because we'll see, like you said, we'll see glimpses of it. We all seen that receiver documentary, and we seen what Devante was saying. Like we seen his body language, but the receiver, that documentary with Devante Adams, it put words to the body language, and for us to hear it, we're kind of like, interesting. For you to say like, hey, if we keep going with this, then I don't know if I'm gonna come back. Like what? Whoa, you put that in the universe? You put that in the universe is listening. The universe will be listening. You say stuff out loud, like, hey.
But even now, he's like hedging that stuff. Like some of the stuff he says. I remember we won the game last year. Week 1, we won the Broncos, right? Like ugly game we won. And then I remember after the game, him and Jimmy, like I think it was caught like by a reporter, and they're like embracing. And Jimmy's like, hey, I know it was ugly, man. We're going to try and get better. And he's like, and Devante was like, nah, man. We got a W. Ain't no such thing as an ugly W. But then you hear later on in the season, like, oh man, my standard is greatness, and we not winning how I want to win. And it's like, bro, he switched up real quick. And then he's talking all this, I'm a Raider for life. I'm a Raider. I'm this. I'm a Raider. I'm a Raider. I'm a Raider. Then he's like, but if I was gonna play with somebody else, obviously, I would want to go back to Aaron. Obviously, like, why even say that, bro? Like, say like, look, there's no place I'd rather be than with the Raiders. I don't plan on going anywhere. Like, I don't care about where they try to send me. This is where I want to be. But you throw in that caveat, like, oh, you know what? But if you gonna trade me, obviously Aaron is where I would. Like, come on, dog. Like, don't even say don't put no ifs or no buts on the end of that. Just end the statement. Like, I'm a Raider for life. This is where I want to be. So, I mean, like I said, I don't think those reports have any validity to them. Like, I think there's just speculation, people putting 2 and 2 together. But
a lot of speculation. But
you never know. At the end of the day, you never know. You can never say never.
And I think you know what they do. I think a lot of what they do sometimes with speculation, and sometimes when they're trying to say things that are not there, they put it out there, and then if it happens, then they could be like, "What'd I tell you?"
Right.
You know what I mean? And then if it doesn't happen, they just act like they never said it, or never like nothing happened. You see what I'm saying?
Fact.
So
it's
just it's crazy. But people be paying attention, and Raider Nation, y'all ain't dumb, so y'all pay attention to the people that be trying to put stuff on the wall or try to say this, like guys like Colin Cowherd, over there. Just talking about the Raiders in a good light, and then all of a sudden just switch up just like that. Be like, interesting. And then once the Raiders go on a winning streak, how's it going to look like? What are you going to be saying now? Oh,
like, what? I've always liked the Raiders. I always thought they were a scrappy young team with a great defense, and they took on the mentality of their head coach. And like, come on, bro, go
shut up,
that, bro.
Yeah, man. But hey, that wraps up Around the Nation. Make sure to leave a comment, man. What do y'all think about this, man? Leave a comment after the video. Obviously in the chat, we see y'all, but just make sure to leave a comment, and we'll get to it as well, man. This is a good time. This is what we're gonna be doing every week. So
tell me how much I'm overreacting, please.
Yeah, let us know, man. Hey, I know y'all disagree with me sometimes. I know you disagree with Mike sometimes. I know y'all agree with Severe sometimes, or disagree. Like, hey, let us know, and we'll feature you on the show. Because we appreciate the support. We want to hear from y'all, man. Hey, great minds. We want to have that conversation. So without you guys, we won't be able to have that. So So make sure to leave a comment, and make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. But yeah, definitely leave a comment, and we'll have you on Around the Nation, man, and salute you. No matter if we disagree with you or not, don't worry, man. We ain't gonna roast you. We ain't gonna roast you. We ain't gonna roast the picture on your.
At least me and Pharaoh won't.
But yeah, man.
Man. Good, keep it pushing that one. Good, keep it pushing.
Hey, man. Hey, look. It's Extra Point. This is where we kind of point out some things that happen around the nation, around regarding the Raiders. And man, let's start with Mike, man. Like, what's something that you want to talk about this weekend and highlight?
Let's add more hate to the list, man. Let's go over the list, right? We got disrespected on Madden 25. They didn't even put Aiden O'Connell or Gardner Minshew in like a top 40 or something like that. We were like, I think Gardner Minshew was like 35th or something like that. Whatever. That was Chris Sims's stupid ranking or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Raiders are going to be one of the worst teams in the league. They're, USA Today got them at 6-11. Well, let's add Pro Football Focus race for the number one pick. They got the Raiders at 4-13. I'm gonna tell you what, guys. I will eat this entire can if we win 4 or less games, man. That is outlandish with the pieces we have on offense. You guys know I don't have to run it down, but 4-13 is ridiculous, man. Now the Broncos at 3-14 sounds about right. The Giants at 3-14 sounds about right. The Titans at 5-12, yeah, maybe. The Saints at 5-12, I don't know, man. That's a little bit low. The Commanders at 6-11, maybe. They got a rookie quarterback, all that other stuff, but they got some good weapons on offense, decent defense. Like, it's just disrespectful. It's just disrespectful because there's, out of all these teams right here, what maybe you could say the Saints have a decent defense, but who has and even Pro Football Focus said themselves, we're a top 10 defense. They have it. You can go look for it. They have a list of top 10 defenses coming into the 2024 season. The Raiders were ranked, I think, 8th or something like that. So how do you have an 8th ranked defense and then still put them at 4-13? That's what they think about our offense, basically. How bad, how horrible our offense is going to be. Yeah. Now, Raider fans, I'm telling you this heart to heart, man. Bring the hate week 1. I want you guys to be pissed off. Week 1, Sunday morning, you wake up like somebody pissed in your Cheerios, man, because this is disrespectful, man. I've heard too much nonsense from the Colin Cowherds, the Mike Florios, the ESPNs, all these talking heads. People have not been giving the Raiders their respect the whole time. They got even small stuff because I'm petty. They got Max Crosby at number 10, and they got Travis Kelce at number 9 on the top 100, man. That, to me, is disrespectful enough that you got, an aging tight end who didn't even break 1,000 yards last year at number 9. And you got somebody who's going to be in the Defensive Player of the Year race this year and was last year, didn't get a single vote. Let's not talk about that. Let's talk about that too, right? Didn't get a single vote for Defensive Player of the Year, just below somebody who just because he's dating a pop star and is on a Super Bowl winning team, he's at number 9.
Right. Disrespect.
Be pissed off all season, man. This is the beginning of something special. We talked about the stuff what's going on with Devante Adams. We talked about the stuff, there's this possible shaking up going on. Forget all that, man. They're going to figure it out. Be pissed off. This defense is pissed off. This offense is pissed off. Be pissed off along with them. Be pissed off with me because they've been disrespecting us for far too long, man. And week 1 is when we're going to put people on notice. Get ready for it. That's all I got, bro.
Yeah, and you know what? You make a good point about the Max Crosby being at 10, and we kind of briefly talked about it. We shouted him out being a top 10 player. Much respect to that. Like, he's getting love around the league. I think as the Raiders have more team success, I believe his individual accolades will come. But yeah, man, Max Crosby is a better player than Travis Kelce at this point in their career.
Right.
Like, literally. Antonio Pierce has to take out Max Crosby. This is a fact. He has to take him out in practice because he's too disruptive. He's at a point in his career where he's unblockable. So they have to take him out so the offense can run their play, so they can get some reps in. And Severe, we're just talking about the other week or the other day. We're like, hey, is it the offensive struggles that? Could it be a possibility that the defense, Pierce is having the defense go all out on the offense? But guess what? He's actually taking out Max Crosby out so the offense could get some reps in. That's how bad, that's how disruptive and how dominating Max Crosby has been in practice. So it's crazy, the disrespect for Max Crosby and the Raiders. I disagree with the 4-13 record, but I will say this. This is what happens when you have that quarterback position is as much as we get hate we get hate just for being the Raiders. I understand that. And I'll be back in a second. I understand that we get hate just for being the Raiders. But also, just look at it. Denver Broncos, Bo Nix, we don't know what that's going to look like. Daniel Jones, I'm sorry, he's trash. The Raiders, if you want to be honest, if you compare it to the league, as of right now, they haven't proven that they're one of the best quarterbacks room in the league. Just to be as positive as I can, they just come on. Aiden O'Connell and Minshew are kind of unproven. The Tennessee Titans, you know what I mean? Like, you start going down this list, then you kind of could see why. It's the quarterback position. That's why they have him on there. It's so easy for them to say, and I understand where you're coming from, Mike. Like, you could still be a good team and not have elite quarterback play.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's easier for them to say, oh, this team's going to be trash because they don't have a quarterback. It's easy to say that.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's easy, and it's also shows how stupid you are too, because like it's
lazy too.
It blows my mind how a number of these so-called experts really just put all the eggs in the quarterback basket and not even taking consideration anybody else that's on the team. Like, I just don't understand how football got to this point. Back in the day, this was an ultimate team sport. The quarterback wasn't the guy that was just like, hey, the quarterback, you're not going to sink or swim based on what the quarterback is doing. He was a piece of what everything is going on around him, And fast forward now, we got a bunch of, I'm going to say it, casuals talking sports, and all they look at is at the quarterback position. Without looking at, scheme, without looking at anything else, defense, nothing else. They're looking at that. And that type of stuff is annoying to somebody who's watched the game for so many years and have seen lesser teams with lesser quarterbacks make it to the playoffs, win Super Bowls, do big things, even though they haven't had necessarily the elite quarterback. The Eagles won a Super Bowl with a backup quarterback, took them all the way to the championship. So to me, it just it's short-sightedness. It's not doing your due diligence. You're not looking at what's the full picture. And hey, any of those other teams can very well put it together if they have a sound defense or other things like that. I think the Saints are shorted too. I think the Commanders can show that they can do something else too because they got good pieces. So it's not just the Raiders. The common, like you said, the common denominator is that they're just looking at the quarterback position and it's not clear, or they're unsure, or they had a bad season previous. So they're looking at that and be like, they're going to be horrible. And that's just short-sightedness. And Pro Football Focus, you pride yourself on being a company that, revolutionize and look at the full picture of things. You put a grade on players and you look at whatever you look at, and give this arbitrary number to these players. But yet you're going to grade a record based off of what's going on in the quarterback room. That is hypocritical to me. And I think that's just short-sightedness, man. But that's all I got to say, bro.
Yeah, man, I agree, because they're not really looking at the context. They're not looking at the full picture. They're not trying to see like, oh, you know what, this team has a good defense. This team might have a run game. What they're trying to do is they just trying to create a buzz, or they get attention and have people react in a certain way, and it works. I'm not gonna lie, I got my attention because I seen it before you even. I was like, man, that's funny that you brought, because we were about to talk about this, but. Man, you saw it, you called it out, you said it how you seen it, and I think that at the end of the day, like, the Raiders just got to go out there and just show the world, man. I think it's a great spot. Look, everybody is doubting the Raiders. It's perfect. It's perfect, man. Perfect spot.
I need everybody to be pissed off, man. For real.
Yeah.
Where's the Patriots on that list, man? That's my question. Why aren't the Patriots down there?
For real.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. That is true.
Name a skill position player for the Patriots. Like, come on now.
Your guy from Washington, Polk. Yeah, I think they.
That's a full team. See, that's the difference. That's a full team that needs a revamp. That's not just the quarterback position. That's the entire team.
And they just traded. Well, this probably happened, but this probably kind of was a prediction before. But they just traded Matt Judon, so it's like.
That's a big piece on their defense too. Yeah, so, big piece on their defense.
Yeah, so for a third round pick, so we know what they're doing this next year.
I'm glad I'm not a Patriots fan, because that's an ugly team. Let's be honest. Like, that's probably one of the ugliest teams. Even when they're winning, like, it's just an ugly team.
It's the boringest team to watch, bro.
The Raiders got the most. Like, man, they just need to get What do they always say? The NFL is better when the Raiders are good, and it's just 100% facts. And hopefully, we're gonna be right there this year, and we're gonna make some noise. But severe, man.
I'm glad Mike made that announcement of aluminum can brought to you by Men of Order. Like, he went hey,
I don't want to see Mike eat a can, man. I just don't want to see it,
bro. Man, yeah,
I don't want to see Mike eat a can. No, but severe, man. What's your extra point this week, man?
Yeah, man. So we've been talking about it for a long time, and everybody knows we have a quarterback battle going on right now, right? There are some people that are Team Minshew. There are some people that are Team Aiden O'Connell. But I think that for the most part, people do their best to grade these people fairly. But we have seen that people's biases have come out, and them being in the tank for one guy or another has kind of tainted what they see on the field. And we have an example of that, from a person that's supposed to be a journalist, all right? You would expect better from a journalist. And, our guy, Mr. Hondo Carpenter, Aiden O'Connell.
What happened to Rondo?
Rajon Rondo. Our guy. Everybody sees it on the screen, man. This happened during the practice. I think there's video out there. Aiden O'Connell felt some pressure from Max, and as we've been talking about, Aiden O'Connell has displayed better movement this year, and I think that was one of the biggest concerns we had about him as a player. But what I don't understand is that you give a guy credit for moving and being able to move and get rid of the ball, but then you say that it's as big as a touchdown. Like, since when was a guy not taking a sack as big as actually scoring points? Like avoiding sacks is important. But I can't think of a scenario where avoiding the sack is as big as a touchdown, right? Like, avoiding the negative play is not going to outweigh you putting points on the board. Like, I can't think of any scenario where that's the case. And you see my reply right there, man. Like, he's like, bro, come on, you can't be serious. Like, you can't let your bias show that much. Like, I compared it to baseball, right? Like I put it on my IG story. Like, that'd be like a guy saying, hey, you know what? This guy, he showed patience in the batter box. He hit a breaking ball in the foul territory. That's as big as a home run. Like, is it? Is it really? Like, hey, this boxer, he avoided his opponent's right hook, and hey, that's as big as a knockout. Like, is it really as big as a knockout? Because I think you need to land punches to win, right? You need to hit home runs and to score runs to win the baseball game. Now, avoiding a negative play that can help you win. That is a part of winning. But that's not as big as scoring a touchdown. Like, at the end of the year, they don't tally up. Oh, how many negative plays did you avoid? How many rollouts? How many? Like, they don't tally. They do tally touchdowns, right? Like, at the end of the game, the score is not, hey, Aiden O'Connell 15 negative plays avoided to JJ McCarthy 10 negative plays avoided. The Raiders win. Like, no, that's not how the game is scored. So, like, give credit to the guy. Celebrate him for making improvements, but man, like, don't go over the top with it. Yeah. Don't go over the top with it, man.
Right. No, I agree. But to be fair though, I think it says a lot about how Hondo views Aiden. For him to be like, "Ooh, man, I didn't think you could get away from Max Crosby." Because if you seen, I think there's a clip out there where I think I know what he's referring to. I think there's a clip out there where you see
Aiden was moving too.
He was moving. He was moving. So
I cannot lie.
So it kind of gave you a little bit of like, oh, okay, Aiden can get out of trouble and at least avoid a sack or get it just and throw the ball away. But I agree, it's not as big as a touchdown. But I think Hundo, it just tells you like, man, he looks at Aiden and is like, God, he's gonna get killed out there.
I love Hondo. I love Hondo Carpenter, man. But you know what? I'm going to try to justify just a little bit. I don't agree with what he's saying. I'm going to justify just a little bit, right?
Okay.
What we've been saying all off season is that we need to see Aiden O'Connell move around, right? That's our biggest concern. And in this moment, in a practice situation, showing the ability to avoid a sack and move around is bigger than a touchdown at practice. That is the truth. That is the truth. But I know that's not what he meant there. But that's, you know what I mean? That's how I see it.
Hashtag ball security.
Exactly. That's where he lost me. That's where he lost me, bro. Because like, if this was Minshew, like, oh, you know what? Minshew got out of there. He didn't make a bad throw. He just, he dirted the ball. Hey, he's showing some improved ball security. Like, that's his area of concern. Now, if Minshew starts taking care of the ball, then you're like, okay, dang, Minshew's taking care of the ball now. That can give him an advantage in his quarterback battle. But Aiden's the whole thing is ball security, and I'm going to take care of the ball. Now, if he put hashtag, pocket awareness or hashtag mobility, okay, I can see what you're doing right there. But hashtag ball security, bro, that's where you showed me you're completely in the tank. And know what I immediately thought about that Aiden O'Connell play? Because he was moving. That's the fastest I've ever seen Aiden O'Connell run his entire life. Like, you ever been like, you been a kid and like you get chased by a dog and you ran faster than you ever thought you can run? Like, that's what that was like. Like, getting chased by a dog and you like, all of a sudden now you turn into Tyreek Hill. Like, I'm getting chased by this dog. I ain't never ran as fast in my life. I'm hitting this fence like, like I'm a goddamn Navy SEAL getting over this thing. Like, like you do what you got to do in those situations. So that's what it felt like from Aiden. But he showed improved movement, showed improved pocket awareness. But come on, bro, that's not as big as a touchdown. Come on, man.
No,
come on.
Facts. I had to justify it a little bit, but yeah, you're right.
It just brings some balance. But yeah, I hear what you're saying.
Just a little bit.
It's not as big as a touchdown, but like I do. If I see Aiden O'Connell run away from the defender, I'm definitely gonna be like, whoo! Like, I'm gonna be celebrating.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna be celebrating a little bit more. Like, oh, I didn't see that coming. I didn't see that coming because let's be honest, our expectation of Aiden O'Connell is he's not a mobile guy. He's not an athletic guy. He's not gonna run away from these athletic D linemen, linebackers, whatever the case may be. So if we see him running away from somebody, it gives us a little bit of like, oh man, good job, Aiden. Like more than we would give maybe a guy that's probably more mobile than him, because we expect him to get away from those defenders. But yeah, it's not as big as a touchdown. But damn, Hondo, the way he looks at Aiden O'Connell, that tells you everything you know. He looks at him as a statue of Liberty, man. He's not moving at all. But yeah, look, my extra point, if y'all haven't heard, it's definitely football related, man, and it has something to do with an all-time Raider head coach, John Madden. There's going to be a biopic on his life, and the guy that's going to be playing him is Nicolas Cage, which I don't understand that casting there, because respecting Nicolas Cage, he probably had his time where he was coming out with movies, and he was that action star, and he's had his. But I'm not sure if he could. I don't know what Nicolas Cage as John Madden is going to look like. I wish it was somebody else, maybe someone that we don't recognize. Meaning, if it's someone that we don't recognize, most likely he's a good actor, because usually sometimes some of these actors, they'll get roles because of their name, and the connections they have, and whatever. Y'all know what it is in Hollywood sometimes. When you keep seeing the same face over and over again, it's for a reason. So, I was hoping to see somebody else play him. But that being said, I'm also excited because we get to see a biopic that's going to be released to the whole world, and it's going to include the Raiders.
Yeah.
But I'm hearing reports that it's not going to really be about his early life. It's going to be mostly about the development of the video game, the Madden NFL game and all that type of stuff. Him as probably sports comment, which I hope that's not the case. Hopefully they focus on him as a head coach for the Raiders, because I want to see that. I mean, the bias, I want to see that. The world needs to see where the impact started, and it started when Al Davis took a chance on him. I think he was an offensive line coach or linebackers coach. And then he ended up, being the head coach for the Raiders. Show that success. That was the success that propelled him into his future opportunities. You got to show that. So hopefully they'll do that. But you know how it goes, man. Like Raiders, man, they always get it's a little bit of the short end on the stick sometimes, man. It's a little bit of like, I don't know where the hate come from. Maybe because Al Davis being that Maverick owner for all those years, going against the NFL. And he just probably created more enemies than friends, possibly. Maybe that might be the case. I'm not saying that. It's still early. We're just hearing who's been casted to play John Madden. I've heard some people say that. I forgot who they said was going to play. And someone in the chat, y'all can let me know too as well. Like I think they said something crazy. Someone was going to play Bill Walsh, and it was just a random. Man, like sometimes these
Bill Walsh played by Terry Crews. Like what?
Yeah, like Denzel Washington is Bill Walsh.
Yeah, like what?
Come on, man. Man, and I know why they
run this West Coast offense, huh?
Yeah, and you know why they kind of go for the big names is because they want to make sure that they get their money's worth out the film. Because, bigger name brings people into the box office. But they don't got to do that. Sometimes, like, the story itself will sell, bro. They ain't got to do that, man. Severe. If you hear it, I couldn't believe it. It was a comment. Someone left a comment, or it was in the. I forget. Someone left. I gotta look at. I'm gonna pull this up real quick, and I'm gonna see if I can find an early casting. And man, it's crazy, man. Let me see if I can find it, but yeah,
no.
Go ahead.
And I just want to say, man, like real quick, I just want to say, like, they have to talk about his time with the Raiders, man. Like
they have
doing
to.
a biopic about John Madden, and not talking about his time, even his time playing offensive line for the Eagles. Like all that stuff feeds into it. That'd be like making a movie about The Rock and not talking about him as a professional wrestler. Or making a movie about Will Smith and not talking about his music career. Like, if not for those early things, like, they don't have that later success. So, but I was laughing, man, just because, like, these castings, it made me think of I'm gonna get us in trouble, man. But
With the
like,
Dave Chappelle joint.
what happened? Dave Chappelle, yeah.
Yeah,
The
I was
last
thinking the same thing.
nigga by Tom Hanks.
Yeah. Yo, yeah.
Damn, yeah.
I was thinking the same thing, bro.
Oh man.
Nah, man, because I'm not gonna lie. Nicolas Cage as John Madden is kind of goofy. It's kind of goofy.
It is.
Well, we gotta see him with a fat suit. You gotta see him with a fat suit because like I'm gonna give him a chance because I thought Robert Pattinson playing Batman was goofy and it was a good ass movie. I thought that was. I was like I had a visceral reaction to that. I was pissed. I was like I hadn't been that mad since we drafted Alex Leatherwood, bro. That's how mad I was. Like
I didn't have that many low expectations just because that like going into it, and not to say I'm the biggest fan of him, but like he went into indie movies and you could tell like he wanted to work on his acting chops, and then you could tell like
it wasn't even.
I can see it a little bit.
It's not his ability as an actor. It's just like Batman's my favorite character. It's just what I view as the character, as you know, like
super
Robert
masculine.
Pattinson didn't. Yeah, he didn't embody that to me, but he did. He did.
On Twilight, bro.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. The Twilight shit was terrible.
I think they kind of changed it up. They changed who he was a little bit, you know, and it worked, right? I didn't think my guy Colin. No, I want to say Colin Farrell. Colin Farrell. Yeah, Colin Farrell playing the Penguin. I didn't really like that casting choice either. But you know, I think he knocked it out of the park. So much so that they're going to, they're supposed to do a series, featuring him as a Penguin. So I think, like, I don't like the casting, but I'm willing to give it a chance to kind of see.
All right. So there's also a rumor that Will Ferrell will also play John Madden. So I don't know what's going on here. So I think there's a rumor that
I like
it's a Nicholas. I don't know. Because Will Ferrell's
supposed to get size. Will Ferrell's a big dude. Will Ferrell's he's a big
guy.
That's
what I'm saying. It fits like the physicalities, like
and he's like a jovial guy too, kind of like like John Madden was. John Madden.
So he probably could play the older. He could probably play the older John Madden when he's in the booth type deal.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Because sometimes I can't take Will Ferrell serious. I don't know if
true.
Has he played a serious role? I don't know if Will Ferrell's played a serious role yet. A lot of his roles have been comedy roles.
He did. And what's the name of that movie? Ah, man.
Like Jim Carrey, for example, like he played a lot of there was comedies, but we seen Jim Carrey's in serious roles. So I was like, oh, okay. Jim Carrey could be in serious roles because we seen it, but with Will Ferrell, I'm not sure if I seen.
I will say that though, like I kind of feel the same way. I felt the same way about Adam Sandler. But when he played that scout on that basketball, when he played a scout in the basketball movie.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked that movie.
That was good.
Yeah, that was
good.
And
I didn't take Adam Sandler seriously at all before then, but he did a good job. So, maybe.
Adam I think he's had other serious movies. I forgot. I'm trying.
He had like romantic comedies and stuff, like you know what I mean,
like some rom-com. And he was doing his Netflix. He was doing a lot of Netflix comedies, like a lot of cheesy Netflix stuff at the time.
Yeah.
No, you know what he did? He did that. If you got Netflix, if y'all got Netflix, there's a movie where he plays a jewels dealer with Kevin Garnett was in it.
I know you're talking about.
That was cool. Yeah. It was cool.
What you're talking about.
Yeah. Check it out. Check it out. It's actually based on a true story, I believe. So check it out for sure. But yeah, man. Hey, look, I'm hoping for the best. I'm hoping the Raiders get shown. As a Raider fan, we all want to see the Raiders get included in this movie because best believe a big part of John Madden's career and how he started was with the Raiders. So hopefully they include it. Hopefully they don't hate on it and they just show like one scene. If they show one scene, I'm gonna be disgusted if they do that. But it just you can't.
What's crazy is that CBS just did that Al Davis thing, and the guy that would play John Madden in there, I thought knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
The dude that was a John Madden in there sounded like him, all that stuff.
No, I even like who played Al Davis too.
Al Davis too, yeah. I think he did a good job too. He did a good job too.
Yeah. So it's hard, man, because sometimes, like it's hard sometimes with certain movies, especially with like big stories. a lot of these these production companies, they don't want to risk not putting a big name to it, even though if it's not a fit. Like maybe if the director and producer and the writers, they want a guy and it will fit perfectly, it'll be a great, but they won't do it because you know what, we can't. This is too big of a story not to put a big name across. So because they want to make their money's worth. At the end of the day, they're gonna invest millions and millions of dollars to make this movie. Because I feel like these days, like these production companies, they probably spent hundreds of millions of dollars just to make a movie. So they got to break at least, depending on the movie. But if you look, man, that movie that with Kevin Hart, is based off a video game that just came out recently. That
Fallout?
man,
yeah, but
not Fallout. But
not Fallout. I know what you're talking about. Not Fallout. That was a show. Borderlands.
Yeah. And that's based off a video game. They spent over $100 million of dollars just to develop that movie, and they're gonna lose money on that movie for sure. It's terrible. Man. I think on RottenTomatoes.com it's like 9% or something like that, 8% rating, something crazy. And guess they got Kevin Hart, they got all these characters, all these actors, big names. You know, big names don't really guarantee if the movie's gonna be good. So hopefully, we're
that's almost as bad as a Tyler Perry movie.
Man,
yeah.
Just saying, bro.
Hey, man, but hey, look, man, that pretty much wraps it up, man. That we just wanted to come here and talk about the Raiders, obviously. Hopefully, that movie. I think it's scheduled. Let's see, when is it scheduled to come out? I know the news and everything came out, but there hasn't been a date. But they've identified and announced that Nicolas Cage and rumored Will Ferrell is gonna play John Madden. So both, I don't know, different stages of their life, they're gonna play John Madden. Maybe I don't know how that's gonna look like. I don't think they have announced like a release date on it yet, but definitely the more news comes out, we'll be here to talk about it. We appreciate everybody coming through. Make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, clock in, light the thumbs, man. We appreciate the support. Make sure to leave a comment after the video so we'll get to it. I know we all will respond to comments, and we want to hear from y'all, and then hopefully we'll feature y'all on Around the Nation. But before we wrap it up, score predictions, Cowboys versus Raiders. Severe, let's start with you.
They're 28-24 Raiders. I think Minshew puts together a scoring drive. I think Aiden O'Connell puts together a touchdown drive and a field goal as well before he gets up out of there. And I think we get some improved play. Peterman knows the system. Ironically, he knows the system, so I think we get a little bit of better play, in that second half. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I got us 28-24 Raiders.
Okay, I'm gonna go 24-14. 24-14, man. 24-14. One of the quarterbacks is gonna get 2 touchdowns. Running back's probably gonna get involved, get a touchdown, possibly field goal. I can't trust the other quarterbacks. From what I seen last week, Peterman in less than a week can't come in and score some points. Who knows? It's preseason football. Anything can happen. It's vanilla out there. But Mike, what you got? What's your score?
Home opener-ish is going to be a packed-ish house. Raider fans are going to show up. It could be a spring training game. They're going to show up, right?
Right.
Raiders are going to show out for that, and I think they're going to win a big one. I think it's going to be 28-13 Raiders.
All right, both of y'all said 28. You said 28-24.
Yeah. Actually, let me change it to 27-24. 27-24.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's trying to come up right here. 27-24, man. He's trying to come up on the
spread. That $1 for Price is Right.
Exactly. I got it 1-0 Raiders.
27-24. I got 24-14, and you got 28-13. 28-13. Yeah. All right, there you go, man. We'll see how it shakes out. And hey, we'll be doing this not just for not for just Raider games. I think when the season rolls around, and we want to include y'all as well too, and we'll find a way to do that. But we're gonna look at all the games on Sunday that play, and we're gonna predict the games, who wins that week, and we're gonna keep track. And hopefully, somehow, some way, we're gonna make it competitive. Winner is gonna get something. We'll try to keep it competitive, but we'll try to have like
loser has to eat a can.
I don't want to see anybody eat a can, man. I don't want to see anybody eat a can. That's too gruesome, man. But hey, look, we appreciate everybody coming through. Make sure to like the thumb, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, clock in, hit all that good stuff, man. We'll be back here next week, next Saturday. Make sure to tune in. Also, Severe, let the people know where they can find you, where they can what's next for you, man. Just let the people know.
Yes, sir. You know what it is, man. The Severe Raider on YouTube, the Severe Raider on X, the Severe Raider on Instagram, on Snapchat, all that good stuff. You know where we at, man. Around the Shield, coming at you guys live. The 50-50 show every Monday night. And then I got some other stuff bubbling, man. Shout out to my guy, Protect the Shield. We got some stuff in the works as well. And then, you guys want to see me live and in person, I will be at the game. Me and Pharaoh, we up there. We live at the Chargers game, man. So you know what? Everybody that's disrespectful in these comment section, man. I see y'all
there. Hey, Mike, man, let the people know where they can find you, what to look forward to, man.
Man, you can find me, Big Mike Raider, X, IG, YouTube. First thing that pops up if you search Big Mike Raider. Also, we do the Around the Shield. We do that once a week. Also, I'll be doing Riding with Big Mike.
Sir.
Taking you guys home weekly. We're going to be doing that weekly. Talking maybe about 30 or 45 minutes, talking about what's going on with the Raiders during, that's going on during the week and stuff like that. And we'll get into stuff. So that to look forward to. And also menoforder.com, get yourself right. Apex for the testosterone support, Flow for your cognitive support, and Moon for your sleep support, man. Go ahead and check out menoforder.com/BigMikeRaider. Go ahead and do it and get yourself right.
Yeah, man, definitely check that out. Yeah, like the gentleman said, man, we all collab with each other. We're gonna be doing this every week. Make sure every Saturday morning. Make sure to tune in. If y'all forget, whatever, hit that notification bell. It does remind you. It does work. So hit the notification bell. Make sure to clock in, like the thumbs, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button on all our channels because you're gonna be seeing this all over our channels. And this week, I went ahead and started a social media page for Around the Shield, where you're going to get all things Raiders, all Raider content. You'll see clips from our shows, anything that we got going on those channels as well. So make sure to go on Twitter if you guys have Twitter, or X as they call it these days, IG, Around the Shield. So been posting on it, started this week, so make sure to give it a follow. And obviously the 50-50 show every Monday nights with me and Severe. Tune in for that. Hey, man, I'm telling y'all, we do it every Monday nights. Possibly there might be a time change. There possibly might be a time change because we want to work with y'all at the end of the day. We understand Monday nights could be tough on y'all, but as of right now, it'll be Monday nights. But if anything changes, be on the lookout in the community tab on social media, and we'll definitely let you know. And yeah, man, we're excited for the season, preseason. Cowboys, they're gonna lose. Raiders are gonna dominate. That's what we're expecting. Hopefully we see that come game time. Yeah, man, I think that's about it. I'm trying to think of anything else that we probably should mention. Yeah, man, just tune in, man. We'll see y'all. We'll see y'all next week, or next Monday, I should say. Next Monday. But as far as all of us, next week. But appreciate everybody coming through. Make sure on the way out, I gotta remind y'all. I know y'all get annoyed when I say the like button. But I got to remind y'all, hit the like button, hit the comment section, hit the subscribe button, all that. It's free, man. I got to do it because sometimes you guys watch every show, but y'all forget to do it. But this really helps us, so we can keep coming back.
Unless y'all a couple of haters and hate watching.
Man, don't hate. Don't hate, congratulate, man. But yeah, we'll see y'all next week, man. We'll see y'all soon, man. All right, peace.
Just win, baby. Hello? You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it.